Alright guys, one of my all-time favorite Total War mods, Ancient Empires, is back. The Attila mod that I think is a much better version of vanilla Rome 2 has restarted development thanks to a returning modder who has picked up where the old team left off a few years ago and begun fixing everything. Now if you don't know what this is, Ancient Empires transforms Attila into the Second Punic War with a beautiful overhauled campaign map, lots of new factions, units, and some of my favorite mechanics. It's got some excellent battles that are both visually stunning and mechanically engaging, and unfortunately at some point development simply stopped for a few years, but now it's very much back on, and what we're going to do today is go through this massive document that was released recently that details all the huge changes coming with the next version, Ancient Empires 3. There's also some future plans here that we're going to go through, some of which I think is going to really excite you, and by the end I guarantee this is something you need to have on your radar if you're a fan of Roman Total War. So diving straight in from the top here, there is a Discord server, just FYI, where you can go into, offer your help, or learn more about the latest updates that are coming with Ancient Empires 3, the sneak previews that are also being released on a weekly, bi-weekly basis from the modder. There's some really great stuff here, so highly recommend you check that out if you're interested. AE3 is the remastered version of Ancient Empires 2, which was last updated in 2022, a long time ago. Most of the mod team moved on to bigger things, or real life, of course, gets in the way, but Centurion, who wrote this document, is back, and his intention is to revisit the mod, fix a lot of the game-breaking issues, missing assets, dreaded, end-turn crashes, etc., and actually complete original kind of planned items and content that was left unfinished. So there's a lot here that is going to be kind of not just fixed up and bug issues resolved, etc., but also new content will be coming to the mod for the first time that was either unfinished or absent entirely from the original team as well. And of course, finally here, we've got this AE3 is releasing in 2025 statement here. So, don't ask me in the comments. It's definitely coming this year, barring any kind of real life delays, of course. This is modding. Real life does come first. But, that is really encouraging. Centurion has been back for a few months, so I know he's been working on this for a long while now. To create this document, I think is a testament to the confidence he has in how progress is going. So I'm very excited by what I see here. So what's actually coming in this update? First of all, we've got bug fixes, 100,000 database errors, missing assets for units, start pause errors. All of these have led to huge stability issues for the player that, many people have been talking about for years. So hopefully this initial release of Ancient Empires 3 will correct most, if not all of them. I think the aim, at least, of this version of the mod is to basically fix all of the errors. So hopefully this early release will have all of them, if not most of them, totally fixed to create a more stable, bug-free version of the mod. And then next up, we've got some new features, fixed features in the campaign itself. We've got a completely new start pause generation system, which should hopefully help a lot with the kind of bugs that people experience with end turns, with starting campaigns, save files, etc. that get corrupt. That's a really, really big one for me. We've got new features, including emergent factions that are back in the game, and the option to liberate them, which is always nice. I think in any mod and any official vanilla Total War, being able to liberate factions is a really cool really cool feature, seeing them thrive, allying them, making them vassals or buffer states. That's always a really good time. So I like that that's back. Updates to starting faction values, corrected Roman campaign objectives and missions, which I really, really, really like since, this is a Roman-centric campaign. It's good to have the Roman faction as complete as possible. Removed some factions that were in start pause but not existent in the game. Interesting. So I guess there were plans to add even more factions that never actually made it. May have caused lots of bugs. Good to see that. Fixed rebel faction crashes. Fixes to civil war factions, aiming to correct or reduce crashes. Start pause support available for expanded building slots submod, which is really cool. He says in the interim, this isn't totally kind of implemented, I guess. This will only be for capital cities due to the original breaking the Attila update. So I guess there's work here still to be done. Maybe he can get some help from the MK1212 team, as I know that that they've been able to implement some really good expanded building slots into that mod. But it's nice to see that he's playing around with that, essentially. Updated starting loyalty figures to reduce amount of Civil War triggers at the start as well. Civil Wars, I know, has been a really big issue for a lot of people in Ancient Empires, so nice to see that kind of addressed here as well. And then swiftly moving on here, we've got changes to the campaign map visually itself. Kothon has been added as a model, the port of Kothon to Carthage, which is quite cool. Benjen is the one who gave it to the Ancient Empires team, who is a very big modder on Rome 2. He worked on mods like Age of Bronze, which is really cool to see, and removed borders for smoother aesthetic, which is a personal taste thing, but I quite like that. I also often remove trade lines and other bits and bobs. So I quite like that. But again, like I said, it's kind of personal preference. On the faction side of things, we've got 2 brand new factions that were not previously in the mod. These are, I'm guessing, not playable because the next line here is 2 additional new playable factions. So these will have already been in the mod, but they're now playable enough to actually, have in the main menu, you being able to play as them. And they are actually Horde factions, FYI, as well. So interesting. We've got updated building chains for new factions as well. Very cool. And then over on the unit side, we've got reworked and redesigned Ptolemy unit variants and officer variants, reworked and redesigned some Macedonian units. So definitely, if you're going to play Ancient Empires 3, these are some good, probably, factions to start with. Overhauled to Soci, Polybian, and Marian Reform Roman units as well. New late Polybian and Marian Centurion variants. So again, the Roman faction is getting a lot of love in this new update as well. I love the unit models, the unit variations in the Roman faction in Ancient Empire. So it's lovely to see these changes and updates come to that army as well. And small updates to some AOR units, area of recruitment units for various regions too. And then we've also got changes to the UI here. We've got loads, in the thousands of brand new unit cards, completely new style of unit cards that Centurion believes brings a great aesthetic change. This will make you feel like you're playing a brand new game. I quite liked, actually, the original AE unit cards, so I'm not sure how I feel about this. I haven't seen them myself yet, obviously, so we'll just have to see how they look. Updates to Roman faction UI, enhanced or changed some current assets, some updates to other cultural UI, Punic, Greek, Barbarian, etc. New general portraits for select characters, 30 plus new wife portraits for these factions and cultures as well. New building UI pictures for various chains across many cultures. So building UI has been changed as well, probably along the same manner as the unit cards, which is interesting. The very large numbers tells me there might be some AI influence here. I don't know. I'm not I don't believe that AI is absolutely terrible when it comes to creativity, especially when it comes to things like mods. I think there's so much work that people do to make things very aesthetically unique. And in some areas, I think AI can be a useful tool, a helpful tool. So I imagine that these large numbers are potentially influenced by AI a little bit. And I'm open to it. I'd like to see what this is all about. The UI changes here are interesting. I really like original Ancient Empires UI, so I might not like it, is where I'm leaning towards with this. But let's see how it is before we pass any judgment. And then last little bit here about what this release is about is some great detail about the new additions for Ancient Empires 3. So playable factions, we've got the Epirate League has been added to the game as an expedition faction. That is amazing. I love playing as Epirus in any mod, in any Roman game in this era, so I'm very excited to check them out. Starting position will be outside the Oracle of Dodona, south of the Illyrian coast. Very cool. A new unique building chain for the expedition and horde status has been implemented into the game. The Aetolian League, which is already in the game, is also now playable, which is awesome. The expedition building chain has been implemented and completely working for this faction, I'm guessing, as well. Both new playable factions offer a brand new playing experience. Either choose to become a kingdom, settling somewhere, or constant migration, enacting revenge on Rome as Epirus would be absolutely awesome as a playthrough. Maybe that's something I do in the future future for sure when this releases. But yeah, there you have a lot of choice basically with the kinds of building chains implementations as a horde faction, or simply kind of establishing a new kingdom somewhere and pissing off everyone around you in the process. This edition was always planned for AE, but never fully implemented. Happy to check this one off the box. Love that. Emergent factions. Every region has been assigned to an emergent faction. That is really, really cool. This will allow Liberation to build allies, buffers, or client states to extend your empire. This will also provide an additional dynamic challenge should your enemies push into your territory. Emergent factions will not take a while to get to full strength and should be considered a considerable ally or enemy depending on the situation. Two new factions that were previously not included in this are Epirus and Syracuse. So that's really cool as well. I really like emergent factions, like I said, in mods in my campaign, being able to liberate, vassalize, have buffer states. I think that's really important. It adds a really cool, interesting strategic layer to your campaign. So I love that this is further and even further developed in Ancient Empires. I do get a little bit worried about, every single region has been assigned an emergent faction. How many emergent factions are there now is my question. But, overall, I still think this is a really, really good thing. And then finally here, we've got some more detail about these new unit cards. So brand new unit cards have been designed and added to the game. One of the key drivers were that many of the current unit cards were outdated and did not match their visual kind of style in battle, which I totally get. In addition, coloring and style was not consistent. Some may prefer the old style, which I have a suspicion of, maybe. But, there is a plan apparently to release a submod to use old cards if highly requested. But the new cards will be part of the base game. So yeah, that's kind of the update here for new unit cards. I'm really glad that he has this plan to release a submod if enough people request it. I'm going to lodge my request from now on because I really do like the old cards. I'm sure I might like the new ones as well, but having this option I think is going to be very popular. So yes, I think that's a very, very good idea. And then the rest of this document, guys, is about the future. What happens beyond Ancient Empires 3 releasing, which I think there's some interesting, exciting stuff here. All of this is TBD, not decided, not guaranteed at all. But there are some very interesting ambitions that you should know of. So there is only one dedicated person left on this mod. None of this is guaranteed, just FYI. But there will be new dilemmas, events that are scripted into the mod. Hopefully, eventually, that would be a great, great thing to have. More scripts, more events in Ancient Empires would be so helpful, so immersive. There already are some that are really good, but more of them would just add so much flavor to it. So I really like that. New updated battle siege maps, which is something that the Ancient Empires sequel, Classical Empires, is also working on. I don't know how far along they are. I remember covering one of their or two of their battle maps a little while ago, but that's only one or two in the year or so that they've been working on this. So battle siege maps is a huge effort for mods. I don't know how really possible this is going to be for one guy on Ancient Empires, or even if he gets help from Classical Empires. I wouldn't bank too much really on this one. And then two ambitious goals here that he has, which he states here are very unlikely to happen, but he does want to explore them and try, doing them essentially, is a population script, which would be amazing, but it's very difficult to implement. Takes a huge amount of skill, coding experience to be able to go into, something like Attila and mix it all around and make a population script happen that is tied into other mechanics in the mod as well. It's very difficult to do. I really hope he's able to do it because it does add a very interesting, I think, unique strategic layer to a campaign. Maybe he can get some help from DEI on Rome 2, but anyway, time will tell how much he's able to explore and implement this one. And then the other big one here, obviously, as you can see, is an updated campaign map. So this definitely hinges, I think, on the Dauntless Days map modding tool being available to him. If it's, easy to use and implement actually plan and get, new cities, new battle maps, all of that implemented into Ancient Empires. I would say this is probably the most unlikely of all the ideas, the ambitions he has here, but it would be absolutely amazing. He would need help. He wants to have more cities like Athens, Sparta, more cities in Sicily, etc., all historically represented on the map, and the rest of the map as well. So there's a lot of work that would go into this. I really, really hope for the best, but I'm not really holding my breath in terms of this actually happening. And then he also wants to implement a new war wariness mechanic into Ancient Empires, which I really like. I think it could be developed a bit further in Total War. War wariness as an idea, your people becoming more and more unhappy as a war goes on, you know, the effect on their lives, public order, sanitation, all of that. So yeah, I think this could be really, really cool for Ancient Empires as well. And then the final big piece, I think, in this document is the ambition to have a brand new campaign, a new start date, new factions, new start positions, unit rosters, everything. This is apparently something that they did have envisioned in the original kind of version of the mod when they first started. Development for this actually has already started as well. Base mechanics have been established. No comment on what era it is, other than it will not be an Alexander campaign. I like that he's actually made that very clear. A few years ago, this was mentioned as in the works, but little to no progress was made at that time. In addition, he does feel the campaign map in its current state does not support that era in the best way. So this kind of hinges on how much help he's able to get, whether he can actually update the campaign map, etc. So, you know, this is, again, a very big if this will happen, but I really, really like that he's got this ambition to do this. A new start date for Ancient Empires would be absolutely brilliant for me. There is no timeline for when this new campaign will be released, but full release will be dependent on the main mod update. So once AE3 is released, development on the new campaign will certainly pick up. So yeah, that is Ancient Empires 3, guys, in a nutshell. Hopefully coming very soon, later this year. Plenty of really interesting new features coming, new playable factions, emergent factions, the changes to the UI, units, campaign map, lots and lots of great bug fixing, stability issue fixing as well will be coming. So this is going to be a brand new Ancient Empires, essentially, which I'm very, very excited about. Something we haven't seen since the last time it was updated properly in 2022. I'm very grateful that I think one of the original modders, Centurion, has come back to do this, to update the mod, make it more modernized, more stable, more complete content. I think it's going to be a fantastic new version of the mod to get into, and I'm very excited. I think there's a lot of great future plans here that he wants to do, which kudos to him. You know, it's good to be ambitious. It's good to have long-term goals. I think a lot of this won't happen. I'm probably more so excited about the scripts, new dilemmas, new missions, etc., and war wariness probably than the rest of this. But it's still really, really cool to see. Hopefully he gets help with this. If you're interested in helping, get into the Discord. It is linked at the top of the document, but I'll also add it to the video description as well. So get in there, support the effort, enjoy the previews that are being shared, as he says here, which is coming out every week, every couple of weeks. Lots of great stuff happening there. And obviously he does this really nice thank you at the end. He's a really nice guy. Lots of effort going into this new version of the mod. And there is another version of the mod if you want to get into a newer version called Classical Empires, which is quite good as well. So yeah, it's really great news, I think, to see this come back. AE3 is very exciting, great, interesting content, bug fixing coming very soon. If you're interested in this, I highly, highly recommend you get into the Discord and talk to them. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the video here. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Give it a like, drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. Let me know what you think here, guys, of Ancient Empires 3, all these changes coming, all the future ambitions for the mod as well. I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. And of course, you know, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, more videos about Ancient Empires 3, about the general Total War modding scene and Total War. I do a lot of discussion videos about the current state of the franchise, the future, the past, all of that. If you're interested in any of this content and what I do here, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.